die, but a Raze dashes in with the satchels, and she has no plan to fall back on. So there's a lot of pressure for Happy right now.
No, yeah, it doesn't look too different on the side of ACEND in terms of team comps, but BDS, they've switched things up. I'm very excited to see what they're going to do on this map, even if Tom Biz is being a hater. But Mitch, I want to know what you think. Who's taking this one?
Wow, you're going to throw me under the bus like that right away? I mean, I'm kind of feeling... Tom, you did an impression of the last map. I'm kind of feeling like coming into this one, we're looking at ACEND, right? A little bit of favor. Just a little bit.
No, just a tad.
Happy on the Raze. You were super hyped about that. Tom said as soon as he saw that lock-in, he was like, you know what? ACEND, they're screwed. There's no shot.
I'll be honest. Like, I thought that if he was coming into this team, it would be for more of a supportive element. In some of their warm-up maps, that's what they were doing. Yeah, he's going to have to be a lot better than I'm expecting him to be for this to work.
Yeah, that is a fair estimation. Deep wall coming out of ACEND. They're looking for an aggressive fight over towards the side and already picking up Akuma, but in comes Happy for one. Roden on another, but the trades are quickly coming in favor of ACEND. They'll get a plant in a very peculiar position. This is a very different pistol to what we normally see out of teams on this map, and the right click unnerfed in this current patch. Puts a 2v2 on the board.
It's not quite a Sentinel, but Logan being back on something like a Viper does actually excite me a lot. He was maybe the best Killjoy we ever had at one stage of the game, and if he can perform on the Viper anywhere near as well, maybe, just maybe, they have a chance. Then again, it's the afterplant. The problem is there's still another snake bite to at least reduce the HP a little bit. He's actually stuck it at least half, though. So they're not in a bad spot whatsoever. We're also going to see the blast back just to make sure nobody's on it anymore. And realistically, the time ticking far too gone, and Zeke and Killers will be there to close it. It is going to be ACEND into the lead.
One enemy remaining.
And, well, they're going to die to the spike.
Yeah, and a pistol round, you know, they'd already been tagged up as well, so you're not having the light shields anyways to save over. What are you losing? A couple of ghosts. Not the end of the world. ACEND 1-0. Picking up the attack side pistol, and I have to say, you know, just looking at this comp, looking at BDS in their current state, we haven't seen anything from them for a long time. These guys have been in the lab and Happy joining in, now playing a duelist. I see ACEND dominating this matchup. I genuinely, I would be surprised if BDS even got up to like 8-9 rounds.
Yeah, I guess, yeah, you say surprised, I'll say impressed. There you go.
Disappointed in ACEND would be my take. You go your own way. These players on BDS for a long time have been, a long time ago, they were some of the best we had in Europe. They were a team that we could have definitely sent towards international events. They didn't exist at the time, really, but certainly ones that did a lot of damage when it came down to the initial Masters event.
Eliminated.
And then the qualifiers thereafter. But they fell off. And now, with Happy on the roster, joining in to try and, I don't know, revitalize it a little bit, we'll see how it gets on. For now, at least, just pistols in this round, and it's already been an easy opening for ACEND, and Tom, looks like it'll be an easy closer too.
Yeah, not really finding any level of resistance, like a little bit of damage done onto CNED, but not much to write home about. There is at least a flank coming in, but it's being watched by multiple angles, and Happy... Hey, I've seen him at Last Alive a lot in another game as well.
Yeah, you know, and it is strange. Happy coming in here, taking what I would consider a, you know, a selfish agent of Raze a lot of the time. It depends how you play it, sure, but it's not like him. You know, we know Happy is a supportive player, someone that really picks up the team, and yeah, hopefully he'll be able to do a lot for the mental of BDS. That's always been the selling point of Happy. You know, he just brings everyone else around him up. Wouldn't you agree, Tom?
So it's 2-0 to ACEND.
Not willing to give him a
Sorry, I think
second chance.
I think maybe my audio cut out. I didn't hear anything you said.
He's turned another leaf, mate. Don't worry about it.
We'll see. We'll see. Like he was at one point a legendary in-game leader, as was well, I guess Existence, or Akukos, the man formerly known as Existence. But we haven't seen much from him, and we'll see if we'll see much from Happy. It's all a learning curve, you know, today, Mitch. That's for sure. Roden, decent position. Should be a fairly easy kill as well, in fact. Gonna double up. CNED there with the trade, and Roden
Great flashes, Roden.
Doesn't want to see. No, if he can't see them, they can't see him. That's a thing I learned as a kid.
And the shock darts, I mean, BDS coming out with some insane utility already. What can ACEND possibly do against this? Yeah, that was possibly the worst 10 seconds of Valorant I've seen for a while. So let's pretend that util didn't happen, because they might still win this,
Enemy remaining.
considering it's a 3v1. You've only got Killaz left, Spectre in hand, and it looks like BDS have managed to beat back this spy, which, for the most part, I mean, the utility's a meme, right? It didn't actually have any impact on the round. The reality is ACEND in this, if they get one more kill, they're in a decent position. And Roden is low HP up close. Killaz swings this. Okay, now, oh, it's almost winnable now, Tom. I start to get a little bit worried because Poison Orb goes down, blocks the angle. If he gets that rifle, all of a sudden, I'm believing in Killaz clutching this out. I need to see Team BDS play off each other here.
left.
The spike is down in the open. Everything is going their way in this moment. And that's a ranged fight versus a Spectre, one that should be easily won, but somehow it's not. And now Killaz is alone, and he clutches it. Get out of here! ACEND win the third round, and BDS, about as much of a meme as their utility usage was. What? How did they lose that?
I don't know. I genuinely, like, I know it's my job, but I genuinely have no idea. He had a Spectre. This was slightly ridiculous, but other than that, it just came to, like, we literally just had a conversation with Lothar about how we used to love the fact that they had really tight spacing and were always very good at trading.
Yeah.
Well, not that round.
As we said, it has been a while since we saw BDS deliver a top-tier performance.
Killaz is still good. There you go. Who would have expected that?
Decent. Yeah.
Yeah.
1v3.
That was nuts. I guess moving swiftly on. CNED's not far away from his res either. By the way, also, that was the bonus round, so that is going to give a lot of extra finances over to ACEND, as they could have now bought into this round anyway, but instead get the extra finances off the win and a free gun. We're going to see the wall used just to try and give them some space. Starzo, what? He's doing exactly that, and they've got so much. He's one past him! He's one past him!
Oh, Akuma was blind, he didn't notice. And now, finally, he'll take his moment to strike. Taka's got caught off guard. Akuma coming around with the show. Already 3, leaving Killaz to clutch it yet again. The 1v1 versus Happy. Beautifully placed last pack, and BDS are back in. But this is not going the way I expected already, Tom. This seems to be a bit of a mind breaker of the game.
I see Happy has taught them one thing from the Counter-Strike days of Envious, which is you can always win a round with pistols. They were the kings of the Force Spy, always winning ridiculous rounds. Granted, he did have like Kenny S and Shox and some of the greatest players of all time, but they've just done it here, and that from Akuma was ridiculous.
Yeah, you'll have to forgive me a moment as I go through my Vietnam flashbacks of Sheriff clutches from BDS. It's I have a soft spot for that. ACEND, a lot to work with there. Orbital strike already going to be deployed. That's long control. Takas is locked in. He goes out for a fight. Starzo deletes him. Showstopper. Did that just hit the flash? Did the showstopper just get blocked by a guiding light?
That's next level. Oh, Rodin's in a good spot that they actually don't check for him. And now it leaves it onto Bone Cold alongside Starzo. Now, Starzo is nowhere near the action whatsoever. He's making a late lurk in towards the A site, maybe trying to catch somebody off. I think Lothar is trying to signal to you, by the way, that the Classic actually is nerfed, and you've somehow got it double wrong.
I've got your
Right.
trail.
Let's have a little timeline here after this round. 'Cause I've asked 4 different people if the Classic
Found
is
one.
or is not nerfed, and I've heard a different answer every time. It's like, what is going on?
You should have just trusted me. There you go. That would have been...
Lothar, talk to Hypuck. Discuss amongst yourselves, because we're getting conflicting
Okay, Bone
information.
Cold has brought this back. We're gonna ignore the Classic for now,
30
because he's
seconds
managed to
left.
find a way
Revealing
in
area.
towards this B site. This was looking
Found
very
them.
good for the side of BDS. Shock
Spike
Dart's gonna go
planted.
through, and actually, oh, it's not really worked out fantastically, but he's managed to find the kill anyway, and Starzo is incredibly far behind. If they get on this defuse, they have basically already won the round, but he's going to get into position before anybody gets anywhere near it. They don't even expect him to be here. He's just taking his time. Nobody watched towards long. Logan is down, and Akuma into that 1v1, tries to fake flash him out, and it's going to pop directly into his face. It is going to still just be this time ticking, and Starzo, he'll land the shot in the end. It is another clutch that looked unlosable for BDS, but they found a way.
Sorry, Tom, I broke my headset for a second there. I was standing up in disbelief of what was happening, and Might have smashed it on the floor, but I think it's working now. If you can hear me, it is.
I can.
Good. Okay. Well, that's a big positive. Having a headset, actually a good thing for a caster. BDS can't.
Oh.
They can't. It's not possible. It did, didn't it? Didn't it? Am I wrong?
I still don't really know.
I feel like it did.
Even with a slow-mo, my brain is not quick enough.
You know what? Yeah, we're not quick enough. Our analysts are over there. I see a heated debate right now about whether the Classic is nerfed or not. There is. I'm pretty sure punches are about to be thrown in a second. But listen, the thing is, I'm gonna leave it to the Twitch chat analysts.
Oh yeah, they're the.
No. Did it hit the
genius.
bird? Did it not? That's all I want to know, and I think it did. But maybe I'm wrong. Nice nade. Roden's in trouble. He's pushed forward a little bit. He found a nice little safe spot. We know how dangerous BDS are when they have sheriffs in hand. We know how absolutely not dangerous they are when they have an advantage in rifles. I don't know how that works. I just know it's a fact. Right now, Zeke shutting down 3, looking for Happy, and he'll get that as well. Gorgeous. Really farming up that showstopper that he just used the other round.
Yeah, who would give that guy away in a trade? That would be silly.
Yeah, wouldn't it?
Wouldn't it be great if they then had to spend a load of money to try and buy out a different member of Ascend? That would tickle me at least a little bit, but you know, we'll see. I don't think Ascend are going to look to sell anyone on their team at the moment. And Zeke, definitely not one of them. 8-3, top of the board, making sure it's not going to happen again versus the Pistols. And that's the other problem, though. It's like, okay, they won that incredible round off the back of Akuma's individual brilliance, but they didn't get anything out of it. Because now they've lost the next one almost, well, clean. I think they lost 1 player.
So this wall goes down at the start of the round from Ascend, but this is very different than what we saw before. This is to get them into lamps, and I think it's a bit of a misread from BDS, immediately popping the Viper's Pit in towards Bathroom. Sure, that blocks off an avenue of approach, but it's one that Ascend, sure, they've taken it a lot so far, but with the setup they were currently running, it didn't look like they were going to go over for it. A little bit too happy on the trigger finger, let's say.
Hey!
But as BDS go into the late round, they'll still have control over bat. They'll have a 1-player hold on mid and a rotate coming around from Happy to reinforce the B site where a hit is about to come down. And Happy has his showstopper. This could be massive if he gets an opportunity to deploy it.
Unless, of course, he gets blocked by something. You never know.
True, yeah. Potentially a bird, you know? We'll see.
Oh, Killers is already going to drop Akuma.
And
It's on the other side of the map as well, so they have to start to question whether or not they want to start rotating players back. Nade not really going to do anything. The flash, though, is superb, and it's Starzo to pick up another. Showstopper has at least found one, but it doesn't even matter at this stage. It's too little too late. They had a 4-man stack on this site, and it is quickly diminished into absolutely nothing. The only man remaining is Logan, and sure, he's pretty good at those clutches, but I don't think so.
in the pit, bro? Okay, he's in. Yeah, probably going to be saving out here. 1v4, not a great opportunity to close this one out. Even a res online for Ascend, doubt they use it. Their economy's already stacked. And you know your round isn't really under threat, because as previously stated, Logan is a rifle. If he had a sheriff, you may be res, just to be careful. Gotta look. Oh, that was a little bit awkward, but he's finished him off, taking Bone Cold down. Now they know where he is, and it's time to go looking for that rifle. I think that kill was probably worthwhile and just dealing the extra little bit of damage. If he loses this weapon but still manages a few more, it could have been great, but only 2 kills in the end, that's going to put Ascend still in a very strong position.
Yeah, they're already up to 6 rounds on their attack in half, and although this is a map where I think I'd say it's fairly even. I don't think it really comes down to either side for the majority of teams. Like, okay, maybe if you're Gambit, you struggle a little bit on the attack and dominate the defense, but I think in most cases it's not too one-sided. So the fact that it's this dominant, CNED, I think CNED might have, actually, let's just say Ascend then, have probably my favorite player cams, because I love watching Starzo, because he has his, that loves to like do his little dances whenever they win a round. Yeah. And then you got CNED with the thumbs up, which I think is now almost as iconic as some of the Fnatic celebrations.
Well, Tom, with all these ultis for Ascend on the attack side, and we know the res so much easier to use on the attack, I'm looking at BDS for an answer. Again, Sheriff's in their hand. They're going to start to close in the distance. Zeke hunting them down with a showstopper will be caught on the backside. That's a valuable opening to have. Orbital strike coming down. Logan. He's gone. Taken out of that one right away. Happy in a little bit of trouble as well. Pressured and taken down. And look, it started out well with that kill onto Zeke, but since then, Ascend have just been rolling them. Taka still ain't got a kill, by the way, so this would be a very impressive 1v4.
It's also one of those things where I'm looking at Takas playing Astra. Is it just me? Is that a bit weird? Like, I feel like his previous agent comps were like...
Back in the day, it's been a long time since I've seen these guys, but I think he used to play a Breach.
Well, no, but it did occasionally. I think everyone in this team at some point. But his most common agents were Jet, Raze, like Arena when it came down to like Icebox.
Split, I think, was where he played the Breach. I remember that for a very specific reason.
I wouldn't even say he's the best Breach on this team. Like Akuma was always the one that I would go to.
Yeah.
Even Hoppy at times as well, I believe, played it a little bit. But it's one of those things where it's like, well, actually, I'm looking at his all-time agents. Has he never played Astra before?
Yeah, but BDS haven't played many officials recently as well, so you have to give them that little bit. Like, this is a tournament where you come in and you experiment, right? You try to flex into new things. They've obviously been working on it for a while.
Let me ask you a different question.
Okay.
Takas.
Yes.
World-class duelist.
Yes.
Happy.
I see where you're coming from.
Not world-class duelist.
Yes.
Who are you putting on the duel list?
Hey, look, I ain't got anything to argue with you on that one.
It just seems weird, all right? That's all I'm saying.
I don't want to sell the false circumstances that I'm sat here cheering that Happy's on a raise. That was you, Tom, in the agent select. I'm not
yeah, that was that thing in the agent select that you made up.
Yeah. You were very happy with that one, huh?
Yeah, never use it twice.
The joke's never been made before.
Once again, slow default round. A bit of a moment at least for BDS, but if we're being honest here, they need every single round. Like 5 on the defense is not too bad, and it's not looking too likely. That was basically just a solo push that came through.
Bone Cold in an earthquake zone right now. Every time we switch to this guy, I just see everything shaking. He's not moving right now, so obviously that's not the case. I think he's playing on like a desk with one leg.
He's sitting down.
Right here.
Obviously, I'm at the desk has one leg. I wasn't making a comment on Bone Cold's physical.
He's a flamingo. We just didn't know all along.
Do flamingos only have one leg? What?
Oh, they stand on them.
Oh, right.
I wasn't saying he was going to get.
Most animals stand on their legs, Tom. That's actually, it's kind of the point.
Here we go. Takas.
Here we go, baby.
Right. He's going to get himself a couple of kills to trade out, gives Akuma a chance. One of the better rounds we've seen so
30
far.
seconds left.
Again, based off individual brilliance. All right, Happy. Just going to spam straight through. Now it's left all onto Bone Cold. A 1 versus 3, like, there surely shouldn't be any way that he manages to close this out, but I don't want to hold my breath.
If they lose this, they should forfeit. I think that's just you lose this 1v3 right
They're going to go pushing through, given a slight opportunity, but they're coming in with the pistols. First goes his way, second won't. Happy's there on a quick trade, and it's going to be a second round on the board for BDS.
Doubling up the rounds, and it's, look, it's been a little bit shaky so far, that's for damn sure, but maybe this will be what propels them back into the game. Another thing, minor thing, Tom, but it's something that we complimented teams a lot in LCQ and then definitely in Game Changers. I was incredibly surprised with it there, which is rather in Game Changers, it was the presence of pauses. Here, what disappoints me is the lack thereof. 7-1 down, don't call a pause. Win that round right there, still none. They're not giving themselves that extra time to breathe, but maybe that's just because they haven't really went that deep into their strat book yet. They seem to be able to change their setups here on the fly within that pause time, so that's just fine. Whether it works or not, that's the real question. And so far, I would say Ascend have been anything but predictable. They've been flexing up how they go, but this mid control, they've sought after again and again. It's just a chaotic amount of utility currently in play.
Yeah, there's a Viper's Pit as well available for Killers if he just wants to try and take over some control, but instead he's going to switch off his Toxic Orb. Already get a kill. It's a single tag for Akuma that isn't really going to make much of a difference, and look how far Killers has actually gone. He's all the way up, pushed forward. He doesn't land the shot though. And that might be a way back in.
That's a big whiff out of kill. That's not something you see too often, but still a lot of players left alive in Ascend. No res possible at this point with the position of his body. Seekers online. Do they get deployed by BDS? They don't
Oh,
have a chance.
no
Not even
way.
a chance.
He had like 2 HP
Yep.
when he did that. Starzo is just ridiculous. Nice shot again from Akuma. At least
Phone calls
he
got
individually
close,
is looking a little bit crisp, but yeah, as you can see, there is utility flying over that is going to deny any chance of a defusal at this stage. Again, it's a couple of nice shots that don't really matter too much, but I would love to see those Starzo kills from his POV. I imagine we're probably not going to be able to get it, but he literally hid within the smoke because he was getting wall-banged out of position. Down on low HP, pops a flash out of it and just insta-headshots 2 people. Like, it is ridiculous how good he is on that Sky.
Yeah, absolutely. 8-2. Ascend looking damn good. Individually, as a unit, everything's going their way. And now I look at BDS and I wonder, you know, what are they going to be able to do when it swaps half? Hey, if they've only got 2 rounds on the board when they swap sides, I'm not going to believe in them at all. But the best case scenario is 4, and Tom, to be honest with you, I'm not going to believe in them at all if they get 4. So, you know, it just goes from bad to just as bad, pretty much.
Slightly less bad.
Minute.
Yeah.
Minutely.
Hawk out.
Again,
Blinded.
we are going to see an opener. An aggressive push down mid is going to find a kill onto Killers. That's actually the lurker, but instead we're going to see this fast push in towards, and their entries are just superb. Both players down, they even have the wall for the flank, and CNED
Oh, wrong heal.
actually has his res. Yeah, he's healed about 2 HP from that, but you know, hey, every little helps, and they're already in an advantageous position. Also, if that player then dies, he can just res them, or just go and kill them all himself. Just peeking straight in, has Bone Cold alongside him, and again, this goes from a nice start, an early kill, to a 4v1.
You know what, Tom? Because
Still going. Okay.
obviously, back in the day, this is the kind of tournament that we had all the time, right? Invite tournament. Now, we're coming into the off-season for a little bit, coming up to Champions, and obviously for a lot of these teams, they're not going to be in Champions, so it is already their off-season fully. And back in the day, you remember those open quals, right? Sorry, before we had open quals, when we had invite-only tournaments, this happened all the time. Teams get invited because they look like on paper maybe they can be good, they've got an org, so on and so forth, and then they're just terrible compared to the better teams that are out there. And I think that's what open qualifiers definitely sorted that for us. Obviously, it takes a long, long time. And there are ways into this tournament through the qualifiers. But sometimes invited teams let us down. And right now, BDS are, well, you know, I think meeting some of our realistic expectations. But in terms of the grand scheme of the tournament, letting us down for sure. 2 rounds on the board,
Yeah,
and they look sloppy.
It's like they did okay, I think, versus 10-star, but they ultimately lost, and that was what we saw premises at the beginning. This is a match where it does matter, but what I mean is Ascend are going to finish top of this group, or very, very likely going to finish top of this group. The battle is for second, but the fact is, unless BDS do something here, they are going to be 0-2, and you basically have to hope that Ascend batter everybody and everyone else trades maps, which you're basically putting your hope, and they have to then win one. I have to add that as well. CNED is going to take a lot of damage. Happy's paint show, already picking off 1, but Bone Cold's going to be brought back. Now this could actually do quite a bit, because it's going to be completely visible, but if he starts to spam through, he might get caught out, because Zeke is just, this is so aggressive.
Good Tiger. Good Tiger to clear out Heaven. They know there's a player up close, but they're trying to challenge him, and it doesn't seem to be working, at least at the start. Logan in there with a big trade, though. Now, all of a sudden, an opportunity to get back in towards this site. Fighting into the Viper's pit, never easy. And as we say, without that drone, it is so much more difficult. They've got to pick up the pace on the walkthrough here. Already, Akuma is 1 HP, but there goes Gilles. He's dropped Bone Cold, still here, though. I have a bunch of low HP players absolutely tearing them apart. It's Bone Cold with the 4K to put 10 rounds on the board for Ascend, coming out of half number 1. Oh, not a great look for BDS, that's for sure.
No, I will say that although I think like facing off against a Gambit could be equally as bad, I actually think this is one of the worst opponents that they could possibly face off against, purely off the basis of we know that a lot of BDS is like momentum, individual skill, clutches, right? That's what they always
used
were.
to be, yeah.
Yeah, that's what they always were in the past. Well, Ascend do that better.
Yes.
All of those things, and they have more in the tank as well. So
and it's the packing. So when we talk about 10 stars strategically, they're an insanely good team. I think they've got a ways to go when it comes to tier 1 individual skill. ACEND have that on pretty much every single player. They are cracked. So the thing for BDS is a lot of the time the early round was bad back in the day, but they punished teams later on because they would come back into rounds like 3v5 with their big clutches. Problem is against ACEND, the early round often sees the whole team dead. So there's no chance to come back into it because they're not getting those duels. They're not getting away with the early fights the same way that they would versus some of the older teams. Zeke has just completely tanked that nade. And then it turns out they know where he is anyways. The recon on backside revealing him, giving the opening duel and a second. A pistol round is essential for BDS, and it looks like they're going to actually win this one out.
Put themselves in a position where it's at least workable to try and get back into the match. I don't know this is something that I'm necessarily supposed to do, but I think I feel like I have to at this stage. Gambit have just lost a map.
Versus
London United.
no shot. What map?
It was Fracture.
Okay.
13-8.
I'm not that interested if it was Fracture, I'll be honest.
That is true.
If they lost like a, you know, if they came in, they lost a bind or something, all of a sudden I'm going to have a
Also, 10-star are now 2-0. So if BDS lose this, they are out.
I like that you put an if there, Tom. You're a very nice guy.
They won the pistol.
They did, yeah.
There you go.
And 2 other rounds. I'm
One of
surprised.
them was with pistol.
I'll be very honest with you. I'm surprised ACEND don't force buys. I think it's the right call, but at the same time, we talk about it a lot, but you can sometimes just sit back and say, hey, we're the better team. They haven't done it this time, and I think that it impresses me that ACEND do this because it shows that. Great shock dart. It shows that they're going to fight for every round. Okay. They're going to play it seriously. Sorry, lost myself for a sec. The shock dart really threw me off without the double bounce. And, oh, please.
Okay, it was just the one. Just the one.
It's the right
That's
click
fine.
classic, man. That's what gave it to him. The jump, he just needed one shot, that's a kill with a free weapon. It's crazy.
The question is the classic nerfed or not?
That's true. Hey, hi, Puck. All right, he's not listening. Never mind. Didn't hear me.
No.
We'll figure. But see, the thing is, Hypuck told me earlier. He spoke to League Ops, and I'm pretty sure they told him that the classic is not nerfed.
Do you trust League Ops or Lothar?
Well, I'm pretty sure Lothar tweeted it too. Lothar, come here, buddy. Come here. Come over to us for a sec. We can share a mic for a minute. Okay, you need to tell us the truth. Okay, what's happening? Is it nerfed?
Here.
Oh, see, I saw that red cross and I thought, oh, it's not nerfed, but Fracture it. Gotcha. Okay, thank you, Lothar. Thank you very much. So the classic is nerfed here, and it's still insanely strong.
It's amazing how you ran over to the desk so fast as well. Because he never leaves the desk.
Oh yeah, Lothar lives on
Day long. Happy? Couple of blast packs. He's already going to find them an opener. It's starting to look at least a little bit better for BDS in these attacking rounds so far. They've still got a lot to deal with, and the lurk through looks like it's about to be caught. Takas is gone, and holding onto this control is going to be huge. Roden with the wraparound, but they still haven't dealt with CNED, and they may not get the chance. Logan, though, turning it into a 1 versus 2. Again, this already as a bonus is a fairly successful round, but it's one that they almost feel like they have to win because of the current scoreline.
Yeah, fighting back, you lose 1 buy round, you're forced down to an eco, game's over. Logan has no chance to plant this. Oh, he's even being spotted now. He knows a flash is coming. It's time to just turn your back to it and accept it.
Does he go B?
No, he's going to block him off, try to take the fight into heaven. The problem is that player doesn't need to fight unless they choose to, and they'll just wait for the second player to come around. And you say Lothar got over here pretty quick. I mean, I don't know what you're talking about, Tom. You're selling fake information to the people out there. As soon as the game starts, Lothar comes over, he sits on my lap, he's just rubbing my hair, telling me, you know, you're doing it's a great cast today.
He sits
you're doing
on
great.
your lap and then rubs your hair. That seems like a very
He's like sitting sideways. I mean, Tom, you can see him right now. You know, we have a rule he's not allowed to talk during the games, just for competitive integrity and all that. But yeah,
it's
we're
almost
having a good time,
even
aren't we,
more
Lothar?
impressive that you managed to.
He's not allowed to talk. He can make noises.
Why is he the villager from Minecraft?
Somebody else.
Well, they know Zeke's so close. Do they challenge it? Does Happy know that this man might have a judge in his hand ready? Rain down judgment upon him. They're certainly looking to challenge towards B anyways. The judge has been spotted. They know. They don't push it now. They don't push it now. They don't push it. Okay, they get him.
Oh, okay.
Fair enough. Fair. I was ready. I was ready to really lean into you.
He's just
Like,
gone. He's just walked out the room. What?
I don't blame him after that. He got absolutely abused. Getting out of there. Yeah, go take a breather.
He just left. Oh, that's brilliant. I'm glad that was caught on camera. That's really funny.
You might need to go to the
We
toilet.
saw it on 2 cams as well. He took his headphones off and then walks past Buncon on the way out. Oh, 4 versus 4. Uh-oh. Oh, is it the revenge of the wallbangs? He's actually stopped right at that moment.
Look, Bone Cold's holding it. Happy has already used 1 blast pack. I'm not sure about 2. He's caught Starzo, though. As he crosses over, here's where Bone Cold should easily take him down.
Oh.
The second one found on the spray. That brings
30
it back
seconds
into
left.
a 2v2. Pay no attention to the HUD up the top. There is no Viper ult online for Killaz right now. He hasn't activated it. There's a little UI glitch from the final round. So this 2v2 is just going to be a raw fight. And the thing is, BDS have that Sky online. Rodent can pop some flashes out and engage. Once that spike is tapped, this is very dangerous for Ascend. And finding room is going to be difficult. No wall to block them off. No information on the second player, but the first is taken down. Now CNET needs to try to run this quickly, but he won't. He's faced him! He faced him, Tom! Why? Why did he face him? He had the time on his side. Why? What? Why? Why? It's 12-4.
Match point.
Going for that cheeky timing. He's going for the cheeky timing. He was like, there's no way CNED will expect me to do this.
No, because he just ran into Tube. He was obviously going to be standing there with his gun out as he cleared the angle. He literally peeked as CNED cleared the angle. That's so weird. If he waited like 4 seconds and peeked or something, you know, fair enough. But I don't know, man. The decision making is questionable. 12-4. I mean, I've known this was over from about round 8, but I mean, I was hoping BDS would at least.
You realize I said it was over on the desk.
Yeah. I was willing to give him a little bit of space.
I have a lot of faith in Ascend, and unfortunately, well, as said, they're out if they lose a round. Killaz has just found one. Zeke up close as well. This is just absolute destruction. See you later, Happy. I didn't even know where he died from. It's just another kill coming through. Absolute dominance. They've just wrecked him in the final round. That is, well, an incredibly